Since arriving in the Bahamas, we've been spoiled with some of the best sailing we've had since moving aboard our boat almost a year ago. With the trade winds filling in and protection from the islands, there's always enough wind to fill the sails without any of the ocean chop or swell. However, in this week's video, we're reminded that it can't always be smooth sailing. We've got several trips to make in the coming days, and each one seems to have its own challenges as we fight against rolly swells, seasickness, and some uncomfortably shallow waters.
We're approaching the shallowest spot of everything. Ooh, that's minus 0.5.
Our only hope is that the destination at the end of all this madness is worth it as we head north to the Abacos. So last night when, as predicted, it was a bit of a rough night, probably the roughest night we've had in the Bahamas so far. It was very rolly in the anchorage. There was not much sleep, for me at least. I don't know, Dylan, how did you make out?
Maybe got an hour or two of sleep after like 2 a.m.
Yeah, I think I'm about in the same boat. I even tried to sleep in the saloon to try and see if it'd be any less rolly or rocky in there, and didn't really do much. Eager to get on to the next anchorage. So we're going through Current Cut today. I don't know, maybe you can relay a little bit more info on what we're going to be doing.
Current Cut is aptly named Current Cut because of the amount of current that can flow through there. It could easily be 6 to 10 knots from what I'm hearing. It'll be about a short 2-hour downwind sail. So we'll just have the head sail out. It's blowing 17 to 20, pretty consistent. So we'll make good time. Get there right about slack tide, supposedly slack tide. So we'll have the current behind us, or slack, and wind behind us. So we won't have any wind against current issues. No standing waves in the cut, please. That'd be great.
The trip to the cut ended up being a bit uncomfortable as chop from the wind was just big enough to push our boat in each and every direction. We ended up going through the cut with several other boats in line, so it was kind of comforting in a way to see that we weren't the only ones being tossed around. I don't know about you, but I am imagining nice calm waters on the other side of the cut. Completely flat, crystal clear, no more rolling or seesawing.
And a winning lottery ticket.
A winning lottery ticket, yeah. How do we make out with the current?
Yeah, no noticeable current. If there is, it's maybe half a knot. But yeah, speed of ground's 5.3, 5.6, and speed in the water is 5.3, 5.6. So
Perfect calculations.
yeah, it's real hard to read the reviews and people say 1 hour after Nassau high tide.
I appreciate your work anyway. And it's looking just a bit calmer out on this side of the island. Aspen and I are taking a stroll along the beach, getting a nice walk in. It is a gorgeous day here on the beach. The water is nice and blue. We're getting ready because in a couple of hours we're going to be making another jump today. It's about an hour-and-a-half trip over to Egg Island, which is where we're going to stay for the night. And then tomorrow we're going to be crossing over to the Abacos. So I know we haven't really talked about it much yet, but we're making our way back north, unfortunately. We're gonna be back in the Chesapeake for the summer, which will be nice. We'll be close to family and friends, so we'll be able to see everyone while we're back in the Chesapeake. But it's definitely going to be tough to say goodbye to this. Sounds like there's really good swimming off of the back of the boat. There's coral reef, because where we're gonna be anchored, we're gonna be right along the Atlantic. So yeah, unfortunately not gonna get any of that while we're on the Chesapeake for the summer, but we're gonna live it up and enjoy it while we're still here. I know A bunch of people jumped over today, and it looks like tomorrow's going to be another good day to cross. I don't know if I should say good. I think it's going to be uncomfortable tomorrow, but doable and manageable. So very anxious to say the least. We talked about going today, and I kind of convinced Dylan that maybe we should wait. I don't know. Hopefully the more we do uncomfortable sails, the less uncomfortable they feel. I don't know. I just know I'm pretty anxious about the sail tomorrow. But who knows? Maybe we'll get out there and it won't even be as bad as I'm imagining. In the meantime, just taking a little break, cooling off from the sun and the shade here, and then we'll continue on with our walk and enjoy the nice blue water here. I think these guys must have known that lobster season had just come to an end, because it was almost like they were taunting us as they sat out in the open and watched us swim by. The following day, we were up bright and early for our long trip over to the Abaco Islands. I'm not sure if I had become spoiled from all the smooth sailing we had had for a majority of our time in the Bahamas so far, but the sporty conditions of the sail definitely had me feeling nauseous for most of the trip. I'd love to know if any of you watching get motion sickness during sails, and if so, what have you found works best for rough passages? We recently tried ginger snaps, which were suggested to us by a viewer, and noticed it actually helped take the edge off, which was really nice. So last time I spoke to the camera, we were over in Eleuthera still, and we're getting ready to leave for Egg Island. And I was voicing a lot of concern about the passage we were gonna have over here to the Abacos, which is where we're at now. And unfortunately, I hate when my anxiety is right. It's always nice to kind of look back and scoff at the fact that I was so worried about something, but I was pretty much down and out for that entire passage.
For no good reason.
That is not true.
It was probably the most comfortable sail we've had in waves that were bigger than, like, this was actual ocean swell. And we lost the horizon on a couple of the waves as I'm sitting here in the cockpit.
Yeah, and we were getting pushed around a good bit.
Yeah, but not that much. It was on it was a quartering swell off the bow.
It was very comfortable. The sea state wasn't as bad as I was imagining it was going to be. We were expecting to see a lot of it on our beam, and the wind ended up being more from the north. So.
Oh yeah, we were pinching the wind pretty much 60 degrees the whole way.
Yeah, so it wasn't as uncomfortable as I was thinking it was going to be, but I was still very much sick for most of the ride. But anyway, we got into the Abacos. We've been here for about 2 days now, and now we're gonna hop up to Tahiti Beach, which apparently is pretty popular on the weekends. So hopefully, Dylan's already worried we're not gonna find a spot at the anchorage, but I'm sure it'll be just fine. So yeah, hopefully we'll have a good time. Time to get sailing though. Anchor's up. Rocked pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, we're coming past the North Bar Inlet, and it's been blowing 20 knots for a good week straight. Some decent swell.
I was gonna say, I see some waves breaking over there.
Yeah, there's a bunch of reef on both sides of the inlet.
Engine's off. We're sailing. We got the head out. And then Dylan was just talking about potentially putting the main up just to help stabilize us when we go past the cut. We decided to forego the mainsail. We determined it was going to be too much work for how short of a ride we have today. So we're going to rough it out and tough it out, going past the cut, and hopefully not get wrecked too much.
So going past the cuts was fine. It was pretty much a non-event. It was a little rolly. There was going past North Bar Inlet. There's like, I would say 5-foot swell that ended up rolling through, which was totally fine. It's like 5 feet at 15 seconds or something.
Oh yeah, it was quite comfortable.
Yeah, it was cool. It was similar to what our passage was.
No, it was not.
Totally
You're
was.
trying to gaslight me to believe that we had the most picturesque sail coming over here. It was not.
It's called reverse psychology, so I can get you to not stress about the next one.
After making it past the cut, we decided to take a charted shortcut through some shallow waters. Our boat draws just under 5 feet, and while the chart said we'd be fine, it was still pretty nerve-wracking seeing so little water beneath the keel as we crept through. Looks so shallow here.
Because it is shallow.
Looks a little bit too shallow. To make things even more interesting, we decided to approach an anchorage by cutting in behind one of the islands, which probably would have been no problem if it were high tide, but without giving it much thought, we found ourselves motoring in at dead low tide.
It's gonna take a while going at 2 knots.
Do you think we're gonna be okay in the area where it gets to 4 feet?
I'm hoping I can skirt. I'm heading a little bit more right of it. We'll find out. Just trying to look, see if I can notice anything in the water. But like I said, I mean, 4 feet looks like 5 feet. Right here is good in this. It's the dark areas that's hard to see and read. This is 2 feet. That's 0. Well, anything brown, like light shade of brown, is probably shallow. We're 0. Yeah, we're approaching the shallowest spot of everything. I'm gonna try to turn a little to the left. Ooh. That's minus 0.5. Minus 0.7. I think we are offset by like minus 0.7, so.
Okay. Back to 0. Great.
A lot of boats over here. Remember how I said that counted like 6
Yeah.
on AIS and it said there's probably 12?
You're pretty right.
I think there's about 12.
Oh my gosh. 0.8.
At some point we should be able to
I was gonna say, I thought it was gonna start getting deeper.
Well, no, this is the shallowest section then. Or not the shallowest, but this is the shallow section again. But this water just looks brown. And I'm worried that I can't cut across over to the anchorage.
Oh, the floating bar's up. Oh, did we make it? Are we in the clear?
I think we might.
Woo! That was nerve-wracking.
Uh-huh. Well, I know at least our depth sounder is good for 0.9.
Take a deep breath now. It feels so nice to finally be here in the Abacos, and now that we made it, we have several weeks to explore different anchorages and waters. There's lots to share with you guys over the next couple of videos, so if you aren't already subscribed, definitely be sure to hit the button so that you can follow along with the rest of our journey. Thanks for watching!